Welcome back. Take Control of Your Life podcast. This week we're going to talk about how to spot a good coach and a bad coach. And with me I have the coaches of CrossFit Ctrl. So we'll start over here on my left. Erica.
Hello.
So Erica, how long have you been coaching with us?
Just over a year.
Okay. So Erica's been coaching for us for a year. She does the kids program and you also fill in for adult classes. And then we have Greg and Debra, married couple, power couple. So been with us since the very beginning. You went from athlete to coach. Greg does some nutrition coaching and also coaches a majority of the afternoon classes. Greg, how long have you been coaching?
I want to say about a year and a half.
Year and a half? Okay. You guys all got your level ones around the same time,
Around
right?
us, yeah.
I think so.
Okay. And then Debra, full-time nurse, crushes it, coming in on 36 hours, no sleep. 50 years old, still deadlifting 350 and crushing it. How long have you been coaching?
360.
360, okay. So always got to correct me. How long have you been coaching?
About a year and a half, too.
Year and a half? Mm-hmm. And so Debra coaches one night a week. Greg Erica does one night a week right now. Mm-hmm. I have all the 6 a.m.s. And so I asked you guys if we could do this podcast because coaching is a skill. And you two have been with me since the very beginning. And I had a background in coaching jiu-jitsu for 10 years before doing this. But coaching CrossFit is different. There's equipment in there. There's different moving pieces. Sometimes you have to partner people up and try to match skill and height if it's a piece of equipment that requires adjustments. All that stuff plays into the art of coaching. And you know, I was going to make a post the other day about how level 1 trainers aren't really trainers, but I didn't do that because you three have your level 1, and I've told you all, if you went and took your level 2 today, you would be in the top 1% of the class. And I mentioned that you two have been with me since day one because you've seen the style of coaching change. Mm-hmm. You've seen the development, and you've seen how we now approach classes. And what's been nice is going to get to level 3 has given me the opportunity to pass it down to you guys to where you don't have to guess. And so I want you all to open up about going from athletes to coaches, what you saw when you were an athlete, or even today. I had Greg in class and I gave you feedback on something and I said 5 years, we're still working on things. And I take your classes too and you guys give me feedback. So let's talk about the art of coaching. We can even break down the 6 criteria for an effective trainer if we want to. But does anybody have anything they want to start with?
I'll start over here.
Oh, okay.
When I signed up to take my level 1, I had been doing CrossFit for like 2 years, and I was standing back, and I could watch classes and see, like, he's going to tell her to do that. He's going to tell her to do that. So I thought that was all there was to coaching and thought I would just jump in and be super great at it. And it was kind of humbling to step back when Devin's like, okay, actually, I want you to do this. And really, like, starting to fine-tune things where it's more than just scanning the classroom and just walking through and talking to people.
When you say that, are you talking about like the seeing and correcting drills that we work on?
Right.
And so that's a good point because oftentimes we'll watch and we'll be like, oh, I know what to do there. But the ability to see and correct in a large group is different. So what has been the most helpful thing you've seen?
Probably just learning all the progressions and knowing like each step that comes next. Like when you're teaching something, like I know what steps should come next instead of just on the fly.
Do you mean by like triaging which one to focus on?
What's the most important, like correcting movements, like to save their back first versus, I guess, bad form.
Yeah, working away from the center out.
But also, I mean, like, actually learning the progressions of not just, hey, do a squat clean. Like, we're going to start with deadlifts, and then we're going to do all that.
How much help do you guys find when we do our staff meetings and we do the coaches train the coach, trainers train the trainers?
I think it's terribly nerve-wracking, but it's helpful.
Yeah, because we're able to give feedback, and we're already working with people who are aware of what we're going to be saying, but those are good times to break down static versus dynamic cueing, how to actually see and how to correct. And without someone who knows how to teach those things, and we're blindly going into it, that's where we can create these bad coaches, if that makes sense. What do you guys got on coaching? Power couple, Rabers.
She wants me to start. I think a lot of it starts with your attitude. When you're coaching a class, if you're exhibiting a bad attitude, maybe you've had a bad day or whatever, that's going to rub off on your class. So always try to stay positive, be upbeat, and I think your athletes are going to respond to you a lot better. But I just want to talk about your transformation. Like you said, we've been with you since the beginning, and in my opinion, what I've seen is when you started and we were on the other side, I think it was okay. Someone's doing this lift wrong, and we're focusing on this big picture. So I'm going to attack the worst one out of the five things they're doing wrong. And now I feel like you're so much better, and you do such a great job of breaking it down to where, hey, we can fix 4 out of 5 of these things real quick. But before, I think it was like, okay, you're doing a push press, you're leaning back. So let's take the lean out. Now it's, hey, let's focus on the elbows, keeping the elbows up. Let's focus on driving through the heels. Let's do this. I just feel like you've taught me to be more detailed in what I'm doing, and I think that comes across in class. And I think you took your level 2, took your level 3, and I think once you took your level 3, it was just like this juggernaut to get you to a whole new level.
How much of it do you think is coming from the teaching side of what we do? So you've probably seen, even in the way in our last staff meeting, we talked about the power of language and how we phrase things can be interpreted certain ways. And so having, not specific, what's the word I'm looking for? Like actionable pauses in what we say. We pause for a purpose. We say things, everything is detailed, just enough to get it to the athlete. We're not using filler words in there. And so when we're teaching and we break down these progressions, oftentimes we can take out the need for correction based on our teaching.
Right.
And that's where you all do a great job of breaking it down and using very simple progressions that carry over to the athlete. I think is that kind of what you were meaning? Like whenever we're doing our progressions, we can oftentimes hammer, and then if we catch something in the progression that they need to work on, hey, we're going to hang out here. We're going to focus here for today.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Debra, I know you just came off a night shift, and
I just think, I've been here, like you said, since the very beginning, and to see your transformation as a coach from the beginning to now, I've been to a lot of different places, and I just think I never dreamed that there were things that I do in CrossFit now that I do, because it's the way that you have taught me how to do it. Like, I just never thought that I could ever do something like that, especially at my age, being 50 years old. So, and I take PT with you since I had my bone spurs in my shoulder, and the things that I've learned from you have been so helpful and increased my confidence as a coach, and being able to help others that are struggling with some of the same things that I am, or I can see before they even do it, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's what I used to do. So it's really cool as a coach to be coached by someone who knows what they're doing and cares, and it just shows. Like, I think we all do a good job in class when we're coaching now, and I think if there's an issue, 99% of the time we know how to fix it, or it's pretty awesome to be able to do that and to see that, because when I first started, I was scared to death because I didn't want to tell anybody something wrong to get them hurt, and I honestly, I was like, I don't know if I can do this, but after a year and a half, I love it, and I enjoy coming in and coaching. It's to me, it's fun, and I learn something every single time that I do coach.
Yeah, I did both of your reviews last week, and I told you, so presence and attitude is one of the 6 criteria for an effective coach. And you do such a great job of managing the group and getting group laughter from the start of the whiteboard brief all the way through the class. Even I was in, what class, was it Monday night that you coached, and you were asking me to demo something, and you and I were going back and forth, and I was like, I don't know what you're saying to me. And then you just made a joke out of it. And I feel like that is one of your strengths, is your ability to keep the group engaged the entire time, laughing and smiling, which is cool because I think we all would find one of our strengths in those 6 criterias. And yours is definitely the presence and attitude.
Real quick, I want to touch on something she said. She said, 99% of the time we know what to do. I think what sets us apart is the 1% of the time that we don't know what to do. We're willing to investigate, whether it's just come ask you. And if you don't know, we're going to find out the solution to the problem. We don't just leave you hanging. So I think that's very important, that if we don't know, we're going to find out and we're going to give you the answer.
How important do you feel that is as a leader? Because when you guys are running classes, you are leaders. To the ability to say, I don't know. Oh. How many bad coaches out there, they don't have a clue what they're talking about, but they'll just make it up to make the athlete feel like they know what they're talking about. I mean, you had a friend who was having a shoulder issue, and their trainer said, well, just go hang from the bar. No assessment, and just gave them something to do. I mean, how many times have you seen someone who comes in, they're like, hey, my shoulder's bothering me. I have 10 questions before we ever look at doing anything on that. Because we have to understand where it's coming from. And I think it's important as coaches, it's okay to tell our athletes, hey, I don't have the answer for you right now, but I'll find it out and I'll get back to you.
I would much rather hear that than be told to do 6 things that aren't going to benefit me. So I'd much rather get my answer answered or my question answered in a day or 2 days and get the right answer than be told some BS.
Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised I'm not very good with knees right now, considering I'm pretty good at fixing backs and shoulders. But like I said, everyone always has. I have 10 questions. It might even be more. It's always like, what caused the pain? Where is it? Where do you feel it? What causes it to irritate? What's the pain scale? And then usually by asking those questions and doing that assessment, we can get them out of pain within 1 to 2. I mean, today, how many questions did I ask you before we even tackled what I gave you?
Like 5 or 6 at least.
Yeah. And so you were having some knee pain. And well, it was, what movement caused the knee pain? And then we dove into, where is the knee pain? And then it was, well, I have tight hamstrings anyways. So, okay. And I had you do the box drill, and we immediately found something. So first movement, we found something.
Yeah.
But it's because we assessed. And so those are skills that they take so much time. And that's something, when you get these new trainers who want to open a CrossFit gym and they haven't taken the time to acquire the knowledge, that's where injuries happen. Or we talk about good. What's good? And this is something, I think it was your feedback, right? Because when we're watching movements, good is just a filler word. We need to give the athlete the feedback of what was good. Great depth on your squat. Good job getting the elbows up. Good lockout. And that's if we didn't see something to fix. Okay? So it's like a 3-to-1 return. 3 things to fix. Always give them a little bit of positive feedback in there as well. I know you were getting ready to say something, right? Or were you, Debra, you pulled the mic?
Oh, I was just going to say, I don't think people, when you get your level 1 in CrossFit, that doesn't automatically make you a coach. And I think here, I don't know that I would have gotten my level 1 anywhere else, because I know here that I would get the proper training before I felt comfortable enough to come in here when you're gone and not here, or to lead a class by myself without you being present. And I think here we just get trained so much, and we have so many. We have coaches meetings once a month, and then we have reviews. I mean, it's not like you get your level 1 and you're like, okay, we're coaching now. And there's lots of questions that you ask us even after we've coached a class, and there's feedback you give us after the class, even years, a year and a half later. And I think that helps improve all of us in our coaching abilities.
Yeah, I mean, it's still, I'm 5 years into owning the affiliate, but what am I, 13 years into coaching. And how many times do you guys hear me come out and say, hey, I was just watching this course on this new thing? Or sometimes I just come out and I'll hang out with you guys while you're coaching classes, and while the workouts are going on, we'll talk about things.
Right.
Hey, what's something you see you could fix right now? Quick. Give them 2 words or less. And that art of coaching, like that's when you feel like you really level up. How many times Jeb? I mean, that's a perfect one. He wasn't having the best day on those kip swings, and you and I were sitting there, and I was like, can you fix him in 2 words or less? And you went over, you fixed his kip swing, and then, what was it, burpee, box jump, something like that. You fixed something there, too. And when he was leaving, he said, I feel like I got so much better today. And he had this huge smile on his face. And that's the art of good coaching. Like, if you can get them to have just the best hour of their day, even if they had a terrible day coming in, you can have a true impact on their life.
Well, it's just like Erica, not Erica, Chelsea. Chelsea, she came in and we were doing pull-ups, and she had a green band, and she wasn't able to do strict pull-ups on the green band. It was strict pull-up day. So we got a black band, and she was able to do them, and that's pretty cool because now that's a goal to her. She wants to go up in different colors and bands, and she was just super stoked that she got some strict pull-ups that she would have never thought she could have done. So I don't know. It is cool when you get to coach mornings and evenings, and you start to get to know the athletes and know their strengths more than they do. And that's what I think is cool for me as a coach, because that when you're able to do that, it makes you feel good as well, because you're helping them grow as an athlete, and they want to come back in, and that's what they want to work on. They want to work on that, or I don't know. It's pretty awesome,
Isn't it cool when you can look at the workout of the day? You can look at your roster before they come in, and you can already tell yourself, I'm going to have this person work on this. I'm going to have this person work on this.
Yep.
That's when, like, you've created that athlete to member relationship. Erica, you just took the coaches development course.
I did.
And you and we were in discussion the whole time throughout it. You had a couple questions on it, but afterwards, I was asking for feedback on what we do, because it was 25 weeks, right?
Yeah, 24, and then like 2 bonus episodes.
Okay. So 26 lessons on the art of coaching. And basically what that course is designed is to get you ready for a level 2. I asked, was there anything in there that you feel like we don't work on with you guys?
No, there wasn't. It was everything that we go over, like the see-do check.
Tell, show, do, check.
Yeah, there you go. All of that stuff just reiterated, which was kind of cool because Devin hammers it out to us, like how to assess the rooms and that kind of stuff. But to see it, like, he's not just making it up. It actually works, and other gyms do it and are very good at it.
Were you able to attend the calls when other athletes or other coaches record themselves and they give feedback?
I watched a couple back. I didn't get to do any live ones because
Okay.
it was always while I was working.
Yeah, that stuff. That course was actually what I feel leveled up my coaching, was doing the Ackerman's coaches development, where we had to film ourselves, submit it, and then you had 12 coaches just hammer you with feedback, which is the level 2 is you coach a movement, and then you get feedback from level 4s. See, Greg, you said coaching a new athlete versus a seasoned athlete?
Yeah.
That's a great question. So
For me, anyway, I love coaching the new athletes because I feel like it gives you volume as a coach. You have someone who's not familiar with the movement. So, I mean, it's like Christmas morning to me. It's like, okay, I got 6 things I can work with, but I'm not going to overwhelm them. I know I'm going to focus on these 1 or 2 things today. Whereas a seasoned athlete, it's definitely more difficult, but it makes you a better coach. Coaching an athlete like Brad, who moves very well and who is so precise in his movements and goes over everything so much. And I've been excited. Of course, I'm doing PT for some other things, but I've taught Brad a couple new stretches over the last month. And, when you're able to get a seasoned athlete, and just like you said today, 5 years and boom, you caught something when I was doing my push presses. To me, that's the goal of a coach. When you can give a seasoned athlete cues after they've been doing it 5 years or even longer, then you're dialed in pretty good.
Yeah, if we talk about coaching the new athlete, we take out a lot of that on the front end with the onboarding process.
Yeah.
And we played around with a dozen different onboarding processes throughout the years. I've done half-hour sessions. I've done hour sessions. I've gone to 90-minute one-time sessions. And the newest onboarding that we've done over the past 3 months, to me, has been the best dialed-in onboarding for when we put them into group class. Because what we were seeing, so we had that 90-minute one session, right? Mm-hmm. And when people were coming into group class, they felt lost.
Right.
So the 90-minute onboarding, I onboarded 18 people last month. And we found that people were jumping into group class, and we would have 3 or 4 new people in a class, and it was taking away from the seasoned members, because we still need to be taking care of everyone.
Right.
And, I sat down with you guys. That's one thing I try to always do, is anytime I'm trying to change stuff, I try to get feedback from everyone else and make sure that we're all approaching this in the right direction. And we talked about, I don't feel like they're ready for the group class. Some people will be, like if they're young or they're good movers or they're just naturally good at picking up things, they'll be okay coming in. But we take care, our average member base is the parents, the people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, who are trying to stay healthy. And so we all sat down. I think it was the last staff meeting we went over this, right? Mm-hmm. And we switched back to the 3 onboarding sessions. And rather than doing them as group onboarding sessions, we did them as one-on-one, so we could deep dive on the movement pieces. The education piece wasn't an issue. We've got those down, the nutrition, the CrossFit stuff, the mindset. It was being able to assess movement patterns, and we hit those foundational movements in onboarding. So when they come into group class, they've already got an idea of posterior chain engagement, and they already have an idea of hip function, and they already have an idea of how to create core to extremity. So have you seen a difference in the athletes? I think I've onboarded probably 4 in the one-on-one versus the group or the 90-minute one session. Have you seen a difference in those athletes coming into the group classes?
I have. Like you said, I think they're a little more prepared. They just seem to move, a little better. I guess with a little more confidence. Not saying there's still not things to correct, but I definitely think they feel better coming into the group class. They're more likely to come in now and say, hey, I'm so-and-so, whereas before I think they felt intimidated and a little overwhelmed, and they would come in, stand at the back door, and I'd be like, hey, come on up, let me introduce you to everybody. But now they're coming in and just incorporating themselves right into class. So
A little less timid.
Yes.
How important do you feel the educational stuff is on the front end when we break down what is CrossFit to stop people from cherry picking the workouts? We've seen that in the past, right, where it's a running day, nobody shows up, or it's a heavy day, the people who don't like to lift don't show up. But we break down those 10 skills in onboarding, and we actually say this is why it's important to show up regardless of the day. I feel that our attendance has gone up since then.
Yeah, and in talking to a lot of our newer members, I can tell you a lot of them don't look at the workouts. They're just signing up. These are my days, boom, boom, boom. And, everyone loves burpees. But our newer athletes are the ones that are showing up. And they'd be like, 100 burpees. I didn't even realize that's what it was today. Mary is a great example, who's someone who just shows up no matter what the workout is. And she'll say, my legs are pretty sore, but, hey, we're going to give it a go. And I should loosen up afterwards, and she's always smiling, always happy. She's a great fit. But that's just one example. Most of our newer athletes are not looking at the workouts, and I think that is a positive thing.
Mm-hmm. Look like you're getting ready to say something, Erica. No? Do you guys have anything else you want to discuss? No? Recap. Good coaches, bad coaches. Good coaches give feedback. Good reps, bad reps. Bad coaches just say good. Till next time.